we going? We're going? We are gone. All right. We're back. I am delayed this morning. I discovered the Jonathan Blow talk where he's discussing Jai from 2 weeks ago, and I really want to listen to it. But I must do this. I am also ill-prepared. So, the goal for this morning is just composition stuff. I did not do things at work as much as I wanted to. I just more or less had a social lunch and then just got back to work. These were yesterday's thumbnails, and then this was the doodle I did at work, which I thought was pretty cool. I'm still having an issue with long lower torso, but his arm is off. But it's, you know, I did something. And then this was a little creature doodle on the bottom. Really trying to get good with the brush pen. I don't really know why, but I am. I also really need to get back to dynamic sketching. So mostly as a recap for myself, but I am going to add this to the stream. Okay, if you see the 1Password logo, don't worry about it. Trello. So I have a week and a half. Figure drawing 1 needs to be finished. This is almost done. I'm almost done with these. This will be not easy, but quick. This was extra credit, and I pretty much knew I wouldn't have time for it. So I'm going to turn this into a card. And then I'm going to bring it over here. This one needs a lot of work. I have a picture of a concert I want to iterate on. I need to finish 50 movie scenes. So these are the last 25. So this down here, this is number 32 right here. What's on the bottom left is from Firewatch. It'll be number 33, which is why it's there, in case you want to draw along. And then there's the perspective stuff, which it's not going to be quick, but I think I can do it not while I do other things. This was extra credit. This was something Marshall Vandermeer mentioned in his courses. But yeah, I do need to print these out because my goal is to do maybe while I'm gone next week, but it's a lot, but I think I can make it. Because then I also have some plans for term 2. And I'm going to probably do that today. I started thinking about it yesterday, but anyway, that's the goal. I'm going to rename this to Trello. You can color things in OBS now. That's kind of cool. It makes it look like it's always selected, but anyway, remove that. Yeah. Music today is gonna be the funeral radio. Yeah. On Spoofy. It'll be, radio based on my likes and preferences, but big fan of Band of Horses. Anyway. How do I warm up for composition? I don't really know. I'll do some lines and then we'll get to it. I'm just going to set my little timer here. I'll set it for an hour because it's 7:48. Yeah. I guess I can move this up. Whoops. Yeah, I'm gonna hide the thumbnail for now. And then I need to find out some animated movies to thumbnail. I need to work on this at some point, this setup. Yeah, so I guess just kind of thinking about what I was doing before. I don't have any thumbnails in here, but I need to be better at adjusting scale and really thinking about the perspective of things. Because I don't know if these are clouds or mountains. All right. Okay, I can't really see the whole line, but in theory, that's part of the process, right? I think these are a good length of line to just kind of kick it off with. A little thick at the end, I'm kind of losing control. Ooh. I've never been good at bottom up, so let's do a couple more of these. I think I kind of end with a flick of the wrist, which is leading it to go awry. This feels like when I did archery, and I'm shooting off volleys of 6, and they all kind of just land roughly in the same area, but you're like, ah! Dun, 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 dun. I never caught myself doing the wrist thing before. I feel like that's actually a consistent pattern. Interesting catch, bro. The whole point of this exercise is align confidence, right? So what lines do I have trouble with often? I feel like doing this for multiple connected lines is not a bad idea. Because if I want to get fast, right, and I have some sort of image to copy, miscellaneous contour lines. Spirits in my head and they won't go. Yeah, like if I don't know how much use this really has. Let's just do a quick frame down here. Maybe we don't want to change. I got guns in my head and they won't go. Spirits in my head and they won't go. Guns in my head and they won't go. I don't know. Let's just figure out the. I haven't done a cubes in space in a hot minute. In my head and they won't go. Okay. Yeah, pretty simple layout there. Do one more. Here. You the day to come. Think I'll let you down. I could see this. I got guns in my head and they won't go. Spirits in my head and they won't go. I want to keep it simple. Okay. Line confidence. Whoa, and I don't want a never-ending life. And then also a big goal is generally keep track of the horizon line, but mostly just like don't thicken the lines yet. Wait until the cube is actually done. I'll stand on another light while I'm here. Guns in my head and they won't go. Spirits in my head and they won't go. The gun still rattles, oh. The gun still rattles, oh. So this is pretty simple. See here. And then I guess, you know, I kind of want to be rotating these more. It's going to require a little bit more perspective from me. I also feel like I should be drawing through. Line, clap, confidence, clap. Cool. Just like, I don't know, practicing establishing spaces, probably important for compositions. Now I can kind of go over this, but I should do it less with these like short deliberate lines and really focus on just pressing in because the goal is to have a line weight. Yeah, I get these scratchy lines otherwise, so I'm gonna try and just complete lines. I need to not use my lines to try and course correct myself. That one was rough, but I'm not going to course correct it. This one really throws the whole thing off. I mean, these aren't great. I'm not gonna lie. This one... This is literally course correcting, but... Someone was telling me that he likes to just do the outer edges when making the lines thick, and I don't disagree with that. I should probably just follow that rule of thumb. Oh well, it's a start. It's all the warm-up I'm gonna really go for. Alright. If you're watching along, this is the Firewatch thumbnail. Our observation tower. Let's see. I'm assuming all my aspect ratios for the next hour are going to be the same. I'm trying not to use the numbers. Let's just do this. If I use the numbers, I could probably be pretty precise, but my song's a banger. Am I the Antichrist to you? Actually, you know, I don't think I'd call it a banger. I've been made fun of for calling songs bangers before, and they're not bangers, but they're good. I enjoy them. But that's not quite what defines a banger. You would not play this at a rave or any party. Probably. I'd play it at a party and everyone would be like, this song is slow, dude. What are you doing? Like, I don't know. Alright. Ooh, I'm feeling the both being tired and lack of incentive today. Alright. I'm looking at this, again, keeping in mind this, in terms of scale, I think I should define, I need my unit of measurement. So we'll do this rock in the foreground. Yeah, so for starters, well, thinking of this in thirds, interesting. Okay. Trying to eyeball the thirds again. Accuracy is not my goal, but we know the tower is kind of like in there, right? So I'd call the ground is up by like a fourth, and then this lower here. So kick it off. This is already difficult in the sense that, like, it's just the scale is weird. Line confidence, yes, but being sketchy, also yes. So if we decide the tower's here, this rock is going to be fucking tiny. If I started with the rock, I would have made it way too big. Like, it's already a little wide. So, okay, because then there are rocks here. Just kind of decorate this with some grass. Thumbnailing. Hey, Cinnamon Bun. Welcome back. Okay. I want to make the water tower so big. I know that it ends up here. We're 100% 3-point perspective, worm's eye view. From the ground looking up. Which makes the water tower kind of easy, actually. I just need to make sure I don't... It starts here, comparing with the rock, and it's about 2 rocks over here, which is feels off. That's my original estimate is very wrong. Okay, confidence, brother, confidence. This is so much steeper. It is a bit of a rectangle, but... And then it goes in and comes down with the little house thingy, and then it comes out again. Have these go down. I was calling, come back to me. Yeah, that's not... I'm just using the rock tip to bottom to scale. This is about center, so the tower... 0. Okay, I need to remember this is not... The goal is not detail. So... Hotel room. Okay, so then this is gonna come down here. Yeah, this should be a little moved over. Oh well. A silver lining. Here. Out of perspective. This needs to be rotated a bit more this way. Come out to me. This is not very confident line work, brother. So if I do this, and then there's a square one. Okay, yeah, and then this is, I'm rushing. These should be more angled. Marshall Vandriff, I'm sorry. I'm failing you. And then this should be really tall. All right, it's not. Thanks. Try not to beat myself up today. Bruising the ego is always good, but it's still bruising the ego. I'm all for it, but my ego doesn't like it. All right, so if we go, I'm spending way too much time on this, I think, but I feel like it's not bad in the sense that, like, I should have done this first. Oh well, this is okay. We can assume that these stairs are coming up. I don't mind this. Whatever. You know what? Okay, yeah, the intentionality of making sure I'm using space well is good. I should not have darkened these lines as much as I did. But this is this is the main object. Hey, Steve, thanks. There's so much mental effort going into making sure the size stays good. Which is not a bad thing. It's just training the eye. So now all the trees are going up to that third point. we visualize them as boxes, their horizon is going more toward the center and back. I'll do the rocks first. Again, I can't make these too big, right? So it's about the same size. This is too big. Shape to form on the grass. And I'm cut off frame. Alright, and then this is a tree. You got the trunk down here. You got a little bit of it here. You got kind of this like round shape. This is where I'm like, part of me is rushing, and by part of me I mean all of me. These are not happy trees, and one day I want to make happy trees, like Mr. Ross himself. Like, does this, I don't know. Initialize this box is loading graphics. It's so true. It's so true. It's all boxes. It's all boxes and it's all cylinders. Like, that's my religion. I don't want to go over this tree too much because it darkens the line, and I want to keep the lines on this, or I want to keep the eye here. I'm trying not to use graphite still. Okay, these ones, I need to look. I'm kind of glad I'm doing this before going back to like my dynamic sketching, because I'm like, okay, I need to know animals. But what do I need to know about animals? In this case, I need to know trees. But what do I need to know about trees? I need to know more detail about like these specific trees. Because in practice, I think, you know, the first step is making sure you don't see a tree, but instead that you see what's really there. Because if I see a tree, all I'm going to do is just boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Hey, that's not terrible. But I don't want to do that. I want to be able to look at this thing and say, okay, we have, you know, this like center thing. I don't know. I think it's just the whole, I'm trying to re-explain observational drawing in my own words. But just like, okay, well, we have this like body of the tree in the center, and then it kind of fades on the edges. So, and then this one's like real foreground, right? So I'll try to make that a little darker. I'm forgetting about my scale. It's okay for now. But like you want to see each special component, and now, you know, in practice it's like, hey, whatever these kinds of trees are, like this game has a very specific geographical location, and so if I can go and do a study of these trees in the dynamic sketching style, of course, it's, you know, I'm hoping that just kind of like this perspective happened. While it might not be great, it still happened. I can kind of, instead of just doing little squigglies, I can actually do more detailed compositions for the trees. I will slightly indicate the clouds, which I think is going to be done in layers here, which is okay. And we're done. 33. Keep using one object. Resonates with me every time I attempt to draw anime. I think it was Bob Ross said it's really challenging when you. Yeah, I mean that's especially kind of really learning art as an adult. It's like there's more to undo. Object as your relative proportions. Because yeah, you want to draw. To me, you need to learn the rules and then you can break them to draw what you see. But I mean, looking at this example or doing these compositions is perfect, because it's like I see this big observation tower, And so in my mind, it's like this huge thing, and you can only depict how big it really is through perspective. And then the rock down here, you also know is big. So in my head, I'm like, ooh, I wanna do this. Like, this is the rock down at the bottom. But then all of a sudden, okay, this was really bad. I can make this better, I believe. Okay, there we go. That's a little better. All right, boom, 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 boom. So we're looking on this water tower pretty steeply on, but all of a sudden, you have the ground. It's like, wait a minute. If you, like, that's not right. This rock is now, because it's, both of these things together, this rock is huge. And I see that. This rock is really big, but it's not supposed to be that big. So it needs to be, smaller. But just relative proportions are hard. Okay, I need to find a new picture / movie. Oh, God. We're still live? We're still live. Okay. I spent way too much time on that. I was trying to think of movies earlier, but I did not get there. The assignment is movie theory. More. I watched Superman recently, but I don't think I'm gonna find any high res of that. Weirdly, I have not been watching that much TV recently. I don't want to go to anime, because it's very stylized. I want to do something like Firewatch, what we were just looking at, is probably as stylized as I'm willing to go. I'm looking around as if this is gonna help. Why can't I? It's weird. You can't think of any movies sometimes. I just looked up movies. Sing is good. Moana is good. I've done Moana. I've done Dragon. I've done the first Dragon at least. Frozen. I could spend all day doing this. Oh, every I tell myself I was more creative, I could translate it be more. I think that is true. I find that it's so valuable in STEM to have some element of liberal arts, but the inverse is also true. Or so I believe. Oh, Ted Lasso. All right. Love that show. There's a lot of people in these, but let's just do Ted Lasso scenes. Because, I don't know, I do so many different things, and I'm never really going to become, a master at one thing, but this is a good one. I can practice some really zoomed out figures. I like this one. Can I do 3? Oh, we'll see. Oh, the dart scene, man. This makes me want to watch it. There's something really interesting in that scene. But yeah, I think coming at things from a technical perspective helps my art, because I'm able to view a single problem from different angles, or at least I know what kind of questions I like to ask myself. Oh, this is a funny scene. There's a lot of people in that one though. I'll do Ted Lasso Believe and see what thumbnails come up. But also in programming, you just have this. That's a good one. Well, it's actually kind of boring. Sorry, I'm so derailed of my thoughts here. I think one of the big things I've noticed recently is that wanting to get good at art makes me actually care about the effort that goes in. And that's really bleeding over into when I write code for anything. I'm I want it to just, I don't care. Like, I don't want the end result to just exist. I want to make sure it's like following the right rules, and if I'm breaking the rules, then I'm breaking them properly. I want one more Ted Lasso Tomo. Ted Lasso, what is it called? Total Football? If you haven't seen Ted Lasso, great show. I want like a scene of him in the restaurant. I need to find this soon. This is an interesting one. I'm trying to think of a scene where there wasn't. Let's look up Slow Horses. That was also a good show. I really enjoyed that. Might be a cool action shot in one of these. Ooh, I like this one. It's a spoiler to give the context of it, but it itself is not a spoiler. There's a classic car for you. There before she slaps him. That was a good scene. So I'm just having my own little moment over here. I'm not looking at anything else other than these thumbnails. Alright, but I found one, so that should be fine. Okay, this one's also good. Okay, we'll do that if there's time. Cool. Yeah, if I do a lot of code, gym, gaming, parenting, sports, my brain struggles to accept that I just can't be mastered no matter how much. Yeah, I feel that. That's why I struggle to pick a new hobby. I think my brain's like, don't bother because you don't have enough time to not suck at this. You know, when I have that thought, it's just like, the time's going to pass anyway. It's not my quote. Oh, getting a call from someone I would like to pick up from. So BRB. But dialing in the modern era is crazy and amazing. Alright, that's good downloads. This is such a complicated scene, which is why I picked it, because I think I'm gonna have to really break it down. It's also not this aspect ratio. Is it? It kind of is. Anyway. But yeah, to pick up new hobbies, one of the big things for me with art, at least, is just like, I've been wanting to get better at this for years. I might as well just keep going, man. Alright, so the first thing I'm trying to identify is the thirds in this image. I'm seeing the people take up the top 2/3 and the reflection plus the base take up the bottom. So if we, define this here, that's actually should be a pretty straight line. My bad. But okay, it's okay. It's just a straight line. But the thing is, I'm seeing that the base of the platform is like here, but the reality of the situation is it's more like here, because then the reflection is here, right? So this is flat, and this is straight down. Let me check. Yeah, I mean, it can be hard. I think people who are inclined to do things like software engineering are people who enjoy solving problems to some degree. I think there's two incentives, right? There's like you're here for a paycheck kind of vibe, or to kind of care about the craft. But I would not want to look at spreadsheets all day and do accounting. I'm trying to. Sorry, one second. I'm making this a dotted line because they're all standing here, but the pole is about probably halfway up the rest of this. I know there's one right over here, and there's one about halfway through, right? I'm already there. And so you have 2 sections, and then you got 3 sections. And I'm kind of taking advantage of the fact that this fourth pole can't be seen. And then this is a sphere. There's way too much thinking in my head at the moment. But I guess at the end of the day, it's a little like depressing just to be like, well, the time's gonna pass anyway. But 5 years from now, if I'm still like, oh, I wish I could go to art. God dang it, man. If I am, then I am. But I'd like to find happiness at some point, Okay, this is good. Again, I had that tendency to make this bigger than it was because of what I'm seeing. Because I'm looking at each part in isolation, really. So what I'm going to do is I'm identifying the main figures. So it looks like we got Will, we got the sewage guy, we got Ted, and Roy. And they jump out because their uniforms are all different. All the players have the same uniform. Got jump forward. See ya. Thanks, Steve. You too. And so we know Ted is... Actually, I should establish this briefly. Zorro's head is like right here looking down. And then Will is next to this arch. Yeah, that looks okay. Because then we got the arch back here, right? So that's too... Oops. See, this is a really pointed arch, but I just kind of borked the perspective, I think. So that means Ted's head needs to be in here, but his whole this is hard. His waist, or at least his jacket, ends here. This is why it's good to do this. At least we know that this kind of comes over. Oh man, I'm losing steam so fast, cause this is not supposed to be breaking the arch. Ted should be under the arch. Let the poop flow. Oh man, this is brutal. Maybe I should have gone all the way down first. Skipping this song. Yeah, because man, It comes down at end. Whoo! Alright, then you got this guy he's a little shorter than Ted. He's got like fluffy hair. His hand is over. Oh man. Oh boy. I wonder if I should like zoom out. Like, what if I work on the scale of what I'm seeing on OBS right now? Wait, is this stream that far behind? No. Okay, good. You got a clipboard. I'm trying to get in the habit of also drawing what's in front first. And that's something I really admire about the artists I follow, is that they are just very good at identifying and, you know, to some degree making work when things are, you know, if they draw something, you can't just draw in front of it when you're working with ink. But hey, just like this scene, you gotta let the poopy flow. All right, and then there's got Roy Kent. Again, I've almost drawn him too big, but kind of just here's waist is here. He's got this here. He looks so tiny. Bro looks so tiny, but why? It's because his head is so fucking big. Bro should not be this tiny. Okay, this forked it. I forked it, kiddo. Alright. I'm gonna kind of just, in a way, move on from this one. Nero's pretty tall. He's as tall as Ted, actually, so. That like turned out okay. Lumbercatch. I'm surprised I'm recognizing the names. Will's pretty short. Every time I'm like, I'll get 5 done today. And every time I get 2. You know what? We're going to shoot for 3. I don't know if spending it more time on these is little bro. True. My lines are too scratchy, I think, but so I guess one thing I've never really learned or thought about is like, how do you just indicate silhouette? Because there's obviously more people here, right? So you got like someone in the background, and you got someone else's head cutting them off. And then I guess these are only ever legs, so it's not too hard to show. Yeah, so the water's too tall here. Oh, you don't even see the bottom of their shoes, so that's on me. I'm not going to spend too much time on that. All right. And I'm just gonna, last thing I'm gonna try here is to just make something pop out. Even if it's just the railing. I want to bold out Ted, but that might have been too much for me. Do specific studies. Which exceeds schools. Nice. Trying to give myself some wins. Picking specific elements of focus. Kind of slow, but it is intentional. Yeah, I don't know what to There isn't really a main subject here, I guess. It's just all of them. I mean, it is them as a crowd. Keep trying to establish in proper space. Okay, done. No, I'm not. I gotta do it. Because I don't want to thicken the lines and F up what I've done. Because I know that would happen. I'm just doing Ted, though. That's all. Ugh. I really was like, what if I could just speedrun, like, one comp for 10 minutes this morning? Okay. This next one's good. I think it'll be not easy, but it's much simpler. This one was a lot. There is, I'm looking at this on OBS. There's a bit of perspective. Like, this tunnel really is important. Because you do want to establish that they're in a tunnel, And there's a ladder back there, I think. Pretty sure. Backgrounds are important. One of the things Dong Ho Kim said was like establishing the scene after the subject in a way like helps establish a lot of story around it. So that's something to keep in mind. Okay, this is not the first scene I've done where it's two people at a table across from each other. I remember that one. I made the soda cups way too big because again I was looking too closely at the things themselves. I'm just gonna sit here. I'm gonna stare at this for a minute. Turn this down. In a way, it's like, can I make everything the size of a beer glass? Because Ted's glass is in the middle. Ted being the one on the left, Beard being the one on the right. It's above salt and pepper and whatever that is, oil. We definitely, it's definitely a 1 point perspective. But we're still pretty close up. Nothing is actually converging. So I'm thinking that, like, you know, if we have a little small sketch down here, because you could have this, which is, you know, 1 point, but it's not this. It is more so this, which is still 1 point, but you just, everything is closer. You know, you got like the that's not a door, it's the back of a booth, but you get my point. And this is, you know, that's too far in, so that's below half. See, this is the speed I should be doing these thumbnails at, right? Like, I should not, like, this is the thumbnail already. Okay. Because I guess I'm just thinking of, like, the back is like, you could establish the back way back here, but then all of a sudden you got to fill everything in on top of it. Sorry, man. Okay. I'm trying to think of, are there 3 tables here? Yeah, table's about a third. So, I would say it's about here, and it just goes right to here. Again, I feel like I F this up. Just already. Can't see it. I'm trying to decide if I need to fix anything here. Actually, let me do the ellipse thing. This is a trapezoid. If you just remove all the details and in just 2D space, this is a trapezoid. And in fact, it should be a little steeper here. This is part of my problem, right? I'm like, okay, this looks good. This looks like it compares with the table well. And then I start to project it back into space. I'm like, ugh. Actually, I do kind of see it though. Never mind. Maybe it's not bad. We've got the plates. So the circle thing I've been doing and just looking around in the world is just, I'll see something. And looking at the top, I see a circle in space here. I'm sure most people do. But if I just kind of take a moment and I only see the ellipse, I'm doing with the plates. We're like here on one plate, and then we're, you know, a little push forward in the other one. They're not symmetrical. I don't know if those ellipses are aligned well. I think they should be a little slanted because your minor axis is going to be toward the perspective line, of course. Again, not okay. Need to speed this one up, especially. This actually comes over the table, so we can, yeah, cool. And then okay. This might be the first time I'm, you know, okay with this so far. We got the thumb coming up. Yeah. This is Ted's glass, of course. Yeah, his hand comes down over here. Yeah, so this is yeah, it was, I was so locked in. Huge problem. Is the table bigger? I think the table needs to be wider, man. I can't figure out if the problem's the table or something else. Oh, blew it. All right. Well, I think his hand's too big, actually. His hand's way too big. That's what it is. Yeah, okay. The beer's okay, but the hand should not be so far down. Yeah. Okay. I don't mind this being scratchy. I'm figuring it out. So the elbow comes down to here, right? And then his sleeve is like above the half of his plate. It's all relative. And you come around using clothes for the contours. You love to see it. And yeah. My heart is healed. pierced. Whoops. Now exposed. Okay, so now his elbow, other elbow, is resting on the table. Table def water, yeah. I think this is good. This one here. Hey, look at this. Ready? I'm gonna be an artist. There's a pattern on the table, and actually that's what I was going for this whole time. Was actually using these lines to identify the pattern on the table. So we can actually do this. And these lines help establish perspective. That was totally intentional. And look, it's even off center a little bit. Boom. There are no extra lines anymore. Oh, that felt good. That's a 1 in 100 for me. All right. I don't know anatomy too well, so I'm very relative. Well, I do, but not applied. So we're here. It kind of bleeds off into space, but then it's soon shall pass. This is rounded over. Happy accidents, 100%, 100%. Actually, I don't mind the zigzag. All right. Cool. Ooh. There we go. Why is his nose so big? This is one of those parts where it's like, just do this. I think it's a little high up, but it's okay. That's so fucking high up, but it's okay. We'll work with it. Kind of just adapt it. His posture is not this good in the shot, but cool. Took too long, but that's okay. I'm okay with what I'm learning from this one. So again, everything's relative. So Beard's fingers are boop 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 boop. Thumb beep boop boop. Beep boop boop boop. Beep boop. Beep beep boop 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 boop. Beep beep boop boop. Beep beep boop boop. All right, I'm not 12. But still funny. It's kind of here-ish. His cuts off. It's about the same level as Ted. It's almost, his head is definitely the same level as Ted. So again, just gonna circle that one in. Boom, 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 boom. He's got a hat though, and I think that's important because it's very, very Beard. Whoops, I wasn't looking when I drew that line. This looks like a duck. Ooh, this is very off. Oh well. Okay. All right, bro. And this kind of works out. This works out. The space between his chin and his arm it feels right. Okay, timer's up, so I'll finish this one and then I'll go watch the Jumbo talk as I gear up into work. What? I'm gonna love you all that I do. Love you more than I do. Kind of experimenting with the hatching on here. Also, just completely forgot about the background, which is really important. Okay, this is not bad. Well, it's better than I've done. So the question I have now is, A, don't ruin it, but B, how do I make sure that I make sure everything, because I know that this is a window and I know that it's tall, but how do I make sure I don't break the entire scene? You know what I mean? Because if I have the ceiling here, right here, there's a chair in the back that's coming up. Oh shoot, it's more like here. Again, this is some off because the chair should be further from the window, but it's okay. I can adapt. But we know that this is gonna come up like this, and there's another one a little further down. Comme ça. And then there's another one, but it's going to be more like here. And this isn't... Yeah, I think I was well, I don't know what I was looking at, but... The point is we're establishing space here. And this one's really close for some reason. Never gonna love you more than I do. So it's glass. Can't really call it a window. And then this is behind Ted here. And I'll leave that there. Oh, I didn't draw the outline of Ted's arm. That's awkward. Yeah, that'll do. Because then this will come down here. Yeah, cool. And then we have another window here that extends not that far. There's someone's head here. Their back kind of comes down, right? Beard's glass. Someone's arm in the background here. Yeah, these should be the same height. And then in front of this person is another person who just comes right up to Beard's hat. Projecting, I think for me, I gotta project the 3D into the 2D. As opposed to the 2D into the 3D. I don't know why this arm is so squiggly. More flow. And then the leg comes over and down. Yeah, these are really helpful. I think I'm kind of losing the main idea of the exercise in terms of like focusing on composition, but as long as I am getting something out of it, it's all about intentionality. Because then I think honestly this wasn't tall enough. I tried to make these windows relative to the top, but they should be slightly above Beard, and the scene is not tall enough. But anyway, I'm adapting. It's okay. Improvise, adapt, overcome. So then the ceiling ends here, and we sort of have this extension, right? And then you got the banners for the football club here. There's like some drinks and stuff behind Beard, because I think Beard actually should be more leaned forward. And then we can kind of just like angle this down. Yeah. Oh wait, there's a bar. This guy's hand isn't on anything. Cool. We got some space established. Again, I should be using line weight, but I think what has really been tripping. Ooh, my hand just cramped up. Okay, maybe that's a good sign to stop. It's a good sign that, you know, this finger thing, it definitely would have caught me up in the past, in the sense that, like, if I had drawn those fingers too big, the whole arm would have been too big, and I would have found myself over here. Focus on comp. Ensure you put in key elements. Burst. Yeah, and then of course all relative. If not using the same thing, keep going. Keep ensuring you chain together with relative sizes. I'll sort of probably maybe not know what that means. 7, 23, 25. Cool. That's 35. Only 15 to go. Only 15 to go in 2 weeks. Oh, hurry to finish these. Well, I don't think that long term in 6 weeks was too much. I just think there's been a lot of travel. There's been a lot of moving around, and there's been a lot of laziness. So, yeah, these are the 3 comps for today. Thanks to those who stopped by. If you're watching this in the future, thanks for watching. If you drew along, I don't know, come join the Discord. Send along what you drew. I did a good one. Yeah, I think we did. Huh, that's awkward. Got back to me too late. Unfortunate. Anyway, thanks so much. Tomorrow's goal to stream tomorrow morning. I'd like to be at number 40 tomorrow, so I'd like to be doing 5 more today. So, see ya.